In a quiet Tennessee farming community over 200 years ago, an invisible force terrorized the family so viciously it became the first documented haunting in American history. It spoke, it cursed, and it killed. This is the terrifying legend of the Bell Witch, a story that still chills Tennessee to this day. In the early 19th century, the American frontier was a place of superstition, survival, and faith. Families lived on isolated farms, surrounded by dense woods and winding rivers. It was in this setting that the Bell family, led by patriarch John Bell, moved to the Red River area of Robertson County, Tennessee. Hard-working and devout, John Bell purchased a large tract of farmland and built a modest cabin. His wife, Lucy Bell, and their children were known as honest, God-fearing people. For years, life on the Bell farm was ordinary. They tended crops, raised livestock, and attended church with their neighbors. But in 1817, that peace shattered. It began quietly. John Bell, walking through his fields, noticed a strange animal in the corn rows. It looked like a dog with the head of a rabbit. Before he could fire his gun, the creature vanished. That night, knocking began on the walls of their cabin. At first, the family thought it was the wind or pranksters. But soon the knocks grew louder, sharper, and more insistent. The children heard scratching under their beds. Something pulled at the sheets as they slept. When they lit candles, nothing was there. As weeks passed, the disturbances escalated. Doors slammed on their own. Stones were thrown against the house. Whispering voices, too faint to understand, echoed in the hallways. The youngest children awoke with bruises and scratches. Betsy Bell, the teenage daughter, was slapped across the face by invisible hands. Her hair was pulled, and red marks appeared on her skin. The Bells began to pray constantly. They invited neighbors to spend the night, hoping witnesses might confirm their ordeal. And they did. Visitors reported feeling unseen hands touch them, hearing guttural voices in the dark, and objects moving by themselves. What made this case unlike any other was that the entity began to speak. At first it whispered and mimicked hymns. Then it spoke clearly, introducing itself as Kate, a spirit with unfinished business. The Bell family and their neighbors began calling it the Bell Witch. The witch's knowledge was terrifying. It recited sermons being preached at churches miles away, revealed private conversations between strangers, and predicted events that later came true. It could change voices, sometimes speaking as a woman, other times as an old man. The phenomenon became so famous that people traveled for miles to hear the Bell Witch speak. Even military hero Andrew Jackson, later the 7th President of the United States, reportedly visited the Bell farm. Legend says his party's wagon wheels locked mysteriously as they approached. Jackson declared, "By the eternal, this must be the Bell Witch." The wheels loosened. But after a night of torment in the cabin, Jackson and his men left in fear. But the witch's true hatred was reserved for John Bell. She called him Old Jack and swore she would kill him. Over time, John Bell's health declined. He suffered facial twitches and became weak. His medicine was mysteriously replaced with a dark, unknown liquid. On December 20th, 1820, John Bell died at his funeral. The witch reportedly laughed and sang a mocking song. After Belle's death, the entity's attack slowed but never stopped completely. Betsy Belle was tormented so badly she broke off her engagement, claiming the witch would never allow her happiness. In 1821, the witch announced it would leave, promising to return in 7 years, and according to some, it did. For generations, the Bell Witch story has been retold in Tennessee. Many believe the spirit never left. Near the old Bell Farm is the famous Bell Witch Cave. Visitors report cold drafts, sudden whispers, and the feeling of being watched. Some claim to hear a woman's voice mocking them or warning them to leave. Photographs taken inside show strange mists and orbs. Local law enforcement and historians treat the legend with cautious respect, noting that no other American haunting has been so well documented. The Bell Witch remains more than a ghost story. It's a piece of American folklore that shaped the way people think about haunting. A tale of a family attack, a father possibly killed, and a spirit that could not be banished. Whether you believe or not, the echoes of that dark chapter still linger along the Red River, where the Bell family once prayed for peace, but received only terror. And even today, visitors who stand outside the old cave at dusk swear they hear a woman whisper, "I am still here."